So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends and Prairie Vintage, my name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit and my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, fabulous viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I am so glad that you guys found me. And for those of you guys returning, I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading again today. Today's reading will be a pick a card reading, and I will be using these decks right here. I'll link the deck flip through right here for those of you guys interested in reviewing these decks. And we will be using the Osho Zen Tarot for the card selection. This reading will be direct guidance from Spirit in regards to your current energetic state and what you can do in order to help you navigate through your journey. Okay, so we're looking at healing messages, confirmation, affirmation, guidance, whatever Spirit wants you to hear right here, right now. And this reading is timeless, meaning whenever you come across this reading was meant for you as long as the reading resonates, of course. And if you aren't resonating with the card selection that you picked, then go check out another pile. Okay, and if that does not resonate, there's a lot of readings in the playlist you can go check out, and hopefully you find a playlist that you do resonate with. Okay, but don't ever force the messages to fit. And as usual, my whole point here is to provide healing messages that help to heal. So healing sometimes doesn't feel very good, okay? And I don't want to make you feel bad, nor do I want to trigger you, nor do I want to do any of that. My mission is solely to provide you with information so that you can heal, regardless if it's painful, regardless if it sounds like something that might be a challenge. But it should resonate, okay? And if it doesn't vibrate or resonate, then it's indifference. It just doesn't, there's nothing there. Like, you just don't even feel triggered, okay? So if you are triggered, if it seems like something that is creating some sort of resistance within you, then it may still be your pile. Okay, but do keep in mind that strong energies always pull through. So if you are dealing with complicated situations, the strongest sort of issue or energy could pull through. So it could be someone else's energy, a deep aspect within yourself that might be in your subconscious that you're not aware of, consciously aware of. Okay, and so this is why I always say keep an open mind, but don't force the message to fit. There's not anything to do with just because I selected it, it's my pile. Okay, so we're not zombies. We don't have frontal brain lobotomies. And we're also here to be open to whatever it is that does vibrate with our energy field so that we can make changes or we can get insights as to what will help or what will keep us sort of stuck. Okay, so if you feel stuck, if you've been feeling stuck, then whatever you're doing is most likely not working, okay? So I don't know what you're doing. If you're listening to tarot, then maybe tarot is not for you. And if you are thinking tarot is for you, then maybe the way you take the messages isn't helping, okay? And so this is why I want to make sure that if you're here, that your intention is aligned with my intention, which is the greatest and highest good of your healing, moving forward on your path and your journey. And the only reason you would ever refer to tarot would be to sort of keep your channel with the divine open, if that's something that you prefer to do, but not because you can't develop that channel yourself. You can develop the channel with the divine, okay? I'm just a pair of talking hands, and I am doing this for those of you guys who don't read your own tarot. I can't read my own cards for the life of me, So I understand, no shade, but I do not want to create any perpetual tarot fanatics staying in a loop of unconscious projection, and then the tarot confirms, and then another unconscious loop, and then the tarot confirms, and then another unconscious. Like, that's how tarot works. Okay, so if you're in loop-de-loop-de-loops, then you can loop-de-loop-de-loop right out of here, okay? Because I'm trying to keep this channel very clear for those of us who really like trying to move on, move forward, heal, and of course, see things that might be challenging within our subconscious here. So the last thing we need is projections. Okay, everyone projects, so there is no judgment. If you are projecting and wanting to heal this, then good. If you are an unconscious loop and you're here, good. You're right where you need to be. I want you to stay. I want everyone to stay. But if you're thinking that tarot is going to fix your problems, the more you listen to them, no, that's not going to happen. Okay, you're going to be in the front lines of integrating what you need to, transmuting what you need to, acknowledging what you need to, and really developing and strengthening your intuition is the only way for you to really connect to the divine, really at the end of the day. All right, or else you'll be distorted, spiritually bypassing, and think you're speaking to Yeshua. Meanwhile, you're just completely delusional. Okay, because your subconscious is filled with fear, shame, guilt, and all of that stuff. Okay, so this is coming from crystal clear divine guidance. Okay, that's going to be reflecting back to you in your state of consciousness here. And it's up to you to integrate what you need to. Okay, but if it's very specific, those messages you can leave aside for others. And it's the overall energy in that pile that should really be resonating for the energy that's around you or your energy. Okay, and only you could tell. I can't be the judge and executioner of whether that is your pile or pick your pile. No, only you can do this, okay? So that's me and my soapbox, and that's the way I do it, and I like it. So if you don't, you know what to do. Let's get into the next section where we'll do the card selection for the picks, and I will see you guys at the next selection. All right, beautiful angels. Let us pull our options. Now, I do feel we're going to do 3. Okay, but Spirit sometimes throws me for a curveball and does 4. But I do feel we're doing 3 today for the card selection. So let's see, Spirit, for the collective here, for this reading, for this divine guidance pulling through as a need-to-know message for their current energetic states, what they're needing to hear right here, right now in regards to guidance, healing message. For the collective, group 1, 2, and 3. Can we get 3 options? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of the collective. Thank you so much. Option 1, option 2, and option 3. Perfect. Thank you, Spirit. So if you are feeling pulled to any one of these 3 right here, right now, you can go ahead and select from the timestamp. For those of you guys needing more guidance, I will flip these over shortly and then use your intuition to guide you into it, okay? If you're called to multiple cards, it's absolutely fine. Different aspects, okay? We're not just flat beings, and we're multidimensional beings, meaning there's many aspects to our current energetic state, many aspects to ourself, situation, people we're dealing with, okay? So we could sometimes have one energy in one and one in the other. Okay, depending on how complex your situation is going. So don't force it, and we will dig into the 3. So option number 1, we have a rebirth here with number 10. Never mind my hideous nails. All right, option number 2, we have moment to moment with number 2. Yes. All right, and then option number 3, we have morality. Okie dokie smoky. Sit here with these 3 energies, and when you're ready, select from the timestamp below. If you feel stuck, close your eyes, take a deep breath, open your eyes. Whichever one you're pulled to will most likely be the pile with your most messages, okay? The one that calls you in. And just listen to your intuition. Don't pay mind to the words so much as to the pull. All right, and I will see you guys at your pick. Gorgeous pile 1. You guys picked the rebirth, card number 10. All right, so I'm going to do the cards here. And you guys can certainly skip ahead. Okay, there's only a few decks that I'm using, but generally I do the shuffling off the video if there's too many decks, just so you don't get bored. But for those of you guys who like the card pull, I'm going to do that here. Okay, so you guys can definitely skip ahead. I can't guarantee that there will not be channeled messages in between. Okay, so Spirit, clear and concise message for pile 1 in regards to guidance. They're right here, right now message in regards to healing information, whatever they need to know about their journey. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 1. Did I call you pile 3? I don't think I did. Pile 1. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1 and their journey. Thank you so much, Spirit. And thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. So we'll pull on the tarot as well, and then we will start to channel your message. Oh, that went super flying. Give me a second. Interesting. We have the Tower and the Sun that revealed itself, and my hair. Okay, and a whole bunch of cards that sort of flew. But I do feel we'll use these cards. The way they came out is kind of this Tower energy. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any cards. Oops, sorry, I bumped the table. So what I was really getting was with this tower and this cascade, were we holding something in, or are we holding something in that's about to burst, or it has already burst? Okay, look at this, 10 and 10. 10s are all about completions, ends of cycles, transformation. The Sun is also a 10. Okay, so something, I don't know, has burst here, I feel. Okay, so we have the Tower energy and we have the 10 of Swords. It is in reverse. 10 of Swords is about an ending. So let's take a look. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. So is there a suppression of truth or a lack of clarity or something we're needing to say and we are, did we say it? Two of Pentacles, 6 of Wands in reverse. 5 of Cups, no, 4 Cups, I'm sorry, 4 Cups. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. 10 of Cups in reverse, another 10. King of Cups. 8 of Wands, another 8. So 88's a master number. A higher calling that is grounded in self-awareness and reverence for life. You might resonate with pile 3, okay? This is the second time I'm sort of being pulled to pile 3. I haven't done that reading yet, but there might be something going on there with that, okay? So Ace of Cups in reverse, and the Hierophant, the Star, and the 5 of Swords in reverse. Okay, so a big chain of events here, but not too difficult to read. So let me flip these over. So we have Sagittarius. I'll let you guys take a look at this. I Seek. Okay. And we also have Neptune with Vision, 26, or the number 8. So interesting, we have 8, and we have the Lion here. Okay, which is the Strength and the Tarot. So I'm getting a Leo energy, but 88's a master number, a higher calling that is grounded in self-awareness and reverence for life again. So there's that self-awareness aspect, okay? And then we have Wrath with 54. It's number 9. Okie dokie. So 9 is Virgo and Cancer energy. And we have listening with your heart. I trust the message I receive from my heart. And we have giving birth. I am bringing forth new and dynamic energy into the world with this rebirth. Okay, very interesting. Let me sit here with this energy. I will put this over here since this came out first, but I will put this in a way that I can channel. Give me a second to tap into this energy. And You guys can skip ahead. Okay, this energy is very clear. I feel it is something you experienced here that you did not like. Okay, this could be very hurtful or just a massive disappointment. Okay, to everyone it's a different degree, but it was enough of a disappointment or a letdown here that's shifted you. It's shifted you, and that's a good thing, because I think what you're seeing now is empowerment for self and self-movement. Okay, so if we are not intrinsically motivated to move, we don't make much change. Okay, and so change happens when we're just not wanting to experience stuff that creates pain. Okay, and so hence, if we stay in any situation that is painful, we eventually are called to move or shift or be shifted. And so I think that something's happened here. I think it's already happened or is about to happen, because I think that we wanted to see something, or we were in a position where we were being called to speak some truth or see something in a way here, okay, that could have gone either which way, I feel. Okay, so it's either it wasn't aligned with your truth, or it didn't confirm something to you. In fact, it didn't work here. I feel like you feel maybe it does definitely feel like a confidence blow here, okay? And so I don't know if we were incapable of seeing something we wanted, or expressing some greater truth, or thinking that this thing would bring a greater truth. I feel we feel like definitely like a confidence blow, but it's also mixed with like a rejection here, feeling very rejected, and maybe even possibly, I don't know if we internalize this thing. It could be that we carried or are carrying, depending on how you feel, like, I am incapable of this thing, whatever this thing is, or this thing has let me down and is making me feel rejected because it's not working here or valuing me and what I am capable of doing. So I'm overqualified and underpaid, or I can't invest because I don't know how. One or the other is happening here. And I think you thought that this was your home, so this could be like a new job you were riding on, or a relationship you were riding on, or a source of happiness. And I think you might have saw something there. But I feel like whatever this was could certainly have been a dream or a fantasy. Okay, it's like maybe you really over romanticize this thing, this person, the situation, or your ability, or that this thing would magically just come together if you were not invested. I don't know which it is. So you either overworked, overinvested, and this, no matter what you did here, it fell apart, or you are incapable or did not, I don't know, do something here, speak a truth or see something. Okay, but either way, it's like, wow, this dream is sort of off the table. This is what it's showing here, okay? And so this is bringing clarity. And so I feel like something is processing. I feel like you haven't got closure yet, because I still think it's fresh. I think this tower is fresh. So either you're about to just be like, well, speak your truth and let it ride, or leave that job, or maybe there was a separation or something like this, an argument or something like this. And so I feel like there's a movement forwards, okay? And I feel like what Spirit is really talking about here is your ability to, either which of those scenarios sort of applies to you. There's having to connect to core, okay? Because I think the core is the crux of all of this. And what the core is your own heart and your own truth. Okay. And why I'm saying go check out pile 3, even though I didn't do it at all, is because the energy I was getting off of that pile, without giving it all away yet, because I don't know, but I am feeling there's something about us believing in something that we think is the truth, but it's really just our own projection, our own distortion, our own clouded fears, and whatever we're identifying with as right and wrong, must be and don't have to be. Okay, that's creating the truth from being seen. So this could sound like something like, I identify as somebody who is incapable in my subconscious because I was always believing that I was less than. Okay, that's just one example. And so therefore, in a situation where I had to perform, I froze or I just sabotaged self. Okay, or I have a belief that I must overgive and overinvest and be validated and appreciated by others. And it didn't come, and now I feel rejected because I've sold the farm. And so now what I wanted did not happen here. So either of those scenarios, it always ties back to the core. And the heart knows the truth. Okay, the truth is with the divine source. The truth cannot be threatened. So there's distortions, which are fears, shame, lack, abandonment, any sort of distorted thing that we've experienced, rejection, okay, stubbornness, whatever, pride. Okay, if we identify with a version of us and we believe it to be true, even if it's not true, it's our truth. And so we have a distortion. It's not clear and it's not aligned with the great divine truth, because in God's universe, there is no distortion, just truth and clarity. Illusion only comes from the absence of light. It's distorted because there's not enough light there to see a great truth. So there's shadows cast there. Okay. And so I feel like there's a distortion, or there was is more key, because I feel like what you're going through or in the middle of, again, we're all in different places in our timeline, is the burst of that illusion. That fantasy is over. Okay. That ship is sailing away. And what this means is movement and being reborn. Okay. So now we have to face our courage, or we have to identify our ego, or we have to have our strength to move forward and beyond some limiting understanding we had of ourselves towards a truer version, the one that isn't, vision. I don't know if I say version, vision, one that isn't distorted based in fantasy, but in truth. Okay. And when I say fantasy, I'm not saying like, it just like unicorns and Skittles. I think it did feel like it was going to be something quite magical for sure. For some of you guys, like I said, a relationship, but it's like a commitment of happiness, like a job I can hang my hat on, or a place I can find happiness. And so whatever that looked like, I don't think that dream was, it's not the dream that was fantasy and unrealistic. So what Spirit's really saying here, it's not the dream, it's the distortion of that in which we were engaged in trying to make this dream happen, which was distorted. It wasn't based in truth. Okay, because again, it was removed from center. So I was either trying to prove myself and my value and my self-worth at my own detriment. Never going to work, going to backfire for sure, because you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. And so if you're in that situation, obviously this isn't the right fit. Now, that doesn't mean I'm never going to find a relationship that respects me, or that I'm not ever capable of allowing love in. Okay, or if you flip the script here, saying I can't, I don't know, or I'm like frozen here, or I just freeze with fear or rejection, or I have some form of, fear of failure, fear of being seen, and then failing or disappointing someone or not being able to perform. Okay. And so that keeps me in limbo land. Okay. And so it keeps me away from my truth. And so eventually this thing will fall as well. And so in that case, we'd have to find the courage to connect back to ourselves and say, where is this Where is this belief coming from? This is something that has been programmed and conditioned within me. So it's a distortion. It's not from God. God doesn't say, I'm going to make you with shame. We are all full of shame and sin. There is no righteous. Now, in the Bible, and I will go off on scripture if I must, and I will. The Bible, okay, or whatever religion you want to fall back on, but I'm going to use the Bible, okay? The Bible, and no one is righteous and we all have sin. Yes, we're human. This isn't about being perfect. Okay, but this isn't spiritual bypassing. Say, because I was born imperfect, I will do imperfect things. Because we have an ego, it is natural for me to be in my ego, full of pride, gluttony, shame, guilt. No, okay, we're ascending as a collective, which means what? Raising the vibration here on earth, which means what? What's within our ability to shine our light of awareness, be in the present moment, give from the heart space, see the truth within us first. And the truth within us first is aligned with God, light, and love, which means what? I cannot have all of this lower vibration because it's not in line with truth. That would be a distortion of an upbringing, of a man-made system, of a belief, a cultural belief, a social belief, something that I hold, an idea of myself, creating this destruction that isn't true. Okay, and so this doesn't mean that all man is perfect. This means that when we truly repent, which means just turning our face to God and saying, I am aware of this and I want to be better. I want to do something here because I truly, genuinely feel like it's not aligned for my highest good. That is true remorse. It's not saying, whoa, I'm a hopeless sinner. There's nothing I could do. Let me just sit here and snort coke. Let me just be here in my misery all day long. No. That's not remorse, but I feel bad. I feel guilt. I feel shame. We're just carrying guilt, shame. The Spirit and God, whatever you want to call it, doesn't want you to carry guilt and shame because you're a sinful person and that's where you stay. No, that's spiritual bypassing so that we don't have to do the work. The work is, I know that I'm in addiction. I know that I'm in self-shame. I know that I see myself as a lack of self-confidence. I know that I'm trying to buy love or prove my value here. This isn't of God. This is something that was culturally made and I need to undo it. This tower needs to happen. The false belief needs to fall away because what has to remain is the pure truth. Okay, and I must fill my own cup. I must see myself purely and clearly without the distortion. So then I can move forward. And so Spirit is saying, you're going to be reborn here. Okay, so how much of this distortion have we seen within ourselves? How much of this distortion was driving this action? And I don't know that some of us see it. Okay, depending on where we fall, we might not understand. And so we could repeat this if it hasn't been learned. Okay, and so Spirit is really saying, have we learned and seen? Okay, because this is all about consciousness. So one, when you're conscious, doesn't mean my eyes are open and I could see exactly what I'm doing. It's like how much of the subconscious is driving? How much is the lower shame, guilt, fear, lack is driving this thing? If we're in a reverse Ace of Cups, how much has been programmed into us? Are we actually seeing? Are we aware and in the present moment in a higher state of consciousness? What state of consciousness are we in? Okay, because there's always greater levels of consciousness where we can hold many perspectives and see that there's a whole plethora, okay, of different ways we can view it. And it'll always be slightly distorted based on the veil of our, whatever we peg our beliefs to. And so we are the magicians. We don't have to peg our beliefs to any one of those perceptions. Our job, okay, would be to remove veils. And then this way the truth can be seen. Okay, our job isn't to seek the truth, to go find the truth, to become someone better and try with effort, okay, to be better, more confident, look better, be more loved. Okay, that's not the effort that's required or doing the work. Doing the work means I am doing the work of my conscious awareness so I can see the distortion and I can work on letting go of that veil, undoing those beliefs. And right now, if we have beliefs that we really identify with, it's so hard to see those beliefs because we really identify with it. We really say things like, I've always been this way. This is me. I've always been like that. It's like, okay, well, one, just because you've always been like that doesn't mean that it is you. And two, just because you've always been like that doesn't mean that that is healthy. And so we can spiritually bypass by saying, this is me. and this is the authentic me, and I'm not going to change this. Meanwhile, it's not you. Okay, and how we'll know it's not you? Okay, even if it gives you a sense of empowerment, okay, because that's the pride coming through, a sense of control. If we were to let go of that identity, do we feel like we would lose control? Okay, that's the first sign. Because if we do, then that means the ego is running the show, because the ego wants control. We know when we are in line with God's truth and universe, God has control, not us at all. And so it doesn't make us feel anxiety. It doesn't make us feel like, oh, I need this outcome, or I must upkeep this. Otherwise, the mask will fall, or I will be left without. That's scarcity. That's not from God. So anything that we're doing, in order to achieve, to maintain, or to do something, is we're being a doer. That is of ego. I don't care how identified. I don't care if it's been 90 years you've been like that. That's you're identified with a false self. That's not you, no matter how long you've been like that. Yes, it's a habit. Yes, maybe you've been in habitual patterns, but the truest version of you under that, okay, underneath that, because when you say, well, I'm a black and white person and I need order and I need control and I need, yes, it's human nature for a lot of us to have those, because that's socially the way we've been brought up. But this is what we're undoing. And we're becoming closer to God. We're seeing truth that really there is no doing. There is no control in God's universe. Okay, now this doesn't mean sit on the couch and have bonbons because now everything is out of my control. There's nothing I can do. It's like, no. Once you shed what is not you, the distortion, the truth is going to be so clear. Your purpose is going to be so clear. Your movement is going to be so clear. And your purpose is specific to you. God is running through you so that you can run with your purpose. Everyone's purpose is different. You just channel through your vessel. When no one has your vessel, and no one has your fingerprint, your artistic whatever, however you could drive with this thing, but it must come through a clear vessel, channel, and seen clearly. Now, if God was to give you this energy, you wouldn't see it for the forest for the trees because you'd be full of distortion. You would turn it into pride. You would turn it into guilt. You would turn it into shame. You would use it as something for control or to make yourself feel better or feel worse. And so ego sits on two polar extremes. It's either shaming, blaming, and it's going to say, you did this. Okay, so now it's not the ego. It's telling you did it. So you carry all of the heaviness. Okay, because who is the ego talking to? Who is the you that's bad or failed or didn't do good? Who is that you? Okay, if we're awareness itself, if we're divine essence. And then the ego wants to claim victory. Okay, so when you do well, look at me. I did well. I did something good. I'm empowered now. No, that's still ego, and they're both equally as toxic because the ego is going to be very sneaky and manipulating when it wants to utilize it and say that this is for the good and this is for the bad. And the minute something doesn't go in line, it is the first one to push you into the fire. It's bad. And we're back in shame and we're back in guilt and we're back in everything like this. So undoing all of that egoic stuff, okay, so that we can see the truth. The clear truth is going to drive you in this rebirth. Okay, I feel like you've been on a very slow journey. I do feel there's something here about emotions as well, because I do feel like some great truth was not expressed or not seen or not understood in your situation of the past. That's what's coming through. I don't know. Or your past. Okay, past experience. So whatever's happened to you as a child or in the past, or maybe the situation and past times, or I don't know, there's something about the past that's impacted maybe this unfolding, because I do feel there's also a situation here, okay, a current situation in which the tower happened that's either now ended or I don't know, maybe is about to end, or maybe you are fearing the end. So you want control. It's like, I can't reveal the truth, or I don't know what my truth is. You know, it's like, I don't know what my truth is. And so now there's something that might end, or this could be like on the table here. This could be the catastrophe. It's like, oh no, this will end, or this has ended, or how do I make it not end? Or how can I put an end to this? I don't know. There's some finagling and there's so much different energy here that I could read. Okay. But your job, regardless of where you fall, is like, what is my truth? Okay. Now, when I say my, it's not with the distortion, because all of us have been like brought up, one in the Bronx, one in Alaska, one in Africa, and now our truths are all completely different. It's without the Hierophant. What is my truth from God that is going to be something that runs through all of God's universe? Okay, so what is that? It's only through the heart. Okay, because if it is from anything else, conditioning, programming, upbringing, and it's a value we carry because it's been the way we've always been, or something that has been taught to us, or the way I've always navigated to protect myself, okay, or to get victory or control or whatever, that's all fear-based, that's all pride-based, that's all ego-based, and it always falls flat. Yes, it might have small victories. Okay, so we might have a little blip of a victory. Now we're on the hill, and then what? And then we fall back down into the valley. And so these wins, they're just seasonal. And Spirit is saying, for you, I don't want seasonal wins. Okay, and I don't think you want seasonal wins, because it looks like you wanted something, a long-term thing that you could hang your hat on here, or something that could make you happy for a long time. So in order to have a deep, long sense, okay, or a deep sense for a longer time of happiness, it must ride on truths. It cannot ride on egoic things, okay, like monetary wins and those sort of things. All right, so to get back to the core truth here, it all sits within self. So what's the truth of self? Okay, filling one's cup up with well, we're not even filling one's cup, okay? Because that's not even how it goes. What it is I remove the veil of distortion. Then my cup is full. Okay, then my cup is full because I can hold more capacity. When we remove the veil, God floods us with God light and love. Our heart is open, completely open, where we could just give endlessly, and obviously it needs to flow, and it needs to find a place to land, because love and giving love, to close the loop, is giving and receiving. That's the flow. Okay, so we can't just keep giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving if it's not landing anywhere and we're not receiving. Now, this doesn't mean I only give when I receive. No, but giving equals receiving. That's the flow of love. And if it doesn't, we could open our hearts, okay, and give love energetically, but we don't overinvest emotionally. Okay, but the opposite of giving and receiving, what is it? Taking and keeping. And I don't know which this is. Okay, we say, I never take and keep. Okay, I never take and keep. And it's like, are we sure we're not taking and keeping? Because taking and keeping would be taking the energy in which is around, okay, and then withholding communication, withholding efforts, withholding truths, withholding clarity, withholding decisions, because I fear rejection. I fear being foolish. I feel failing. I feel I don't know how. Okay, I feel that it might fall apart in the long run. I feel I might not make you happy in the long run. I feel this job might not do it like this. And so now I withhold. Now I'm not outputting energy into this job. I'm sitting here doubting, or I'm not giving to this relationship, and I'm withholding, and I'm taking love, and I'm keeping to myself. I'm not expressing emotions, or I'm pushing people away, rejecting them. No, I won't date because I'm awful, because I know it'll end, because I know you'll never appreciate me. That's taking and keeping. Okay, so the only thing of God's truth is giving and receiving, and we're either on the giving end or the receiving end. Okay, and so if we're giving and someone is just taking and keeping, and we can create energetic loops that allows us to give but to receive energy back. Okay, we're not dependent on anyone to give us back energy, and we choose whether we want to consciously stay there giving love, okay, or we can just give love energetically and continue onward. So this pile, I think you got a mouthful of advice, but what I'm seeing here and what Spirit is saying is working through the distortion, a wake-up call that was actually much needed, no matter how painful or how chaotic it might have seemed here, okay, because I feel there's a lot of chaotic thoughts, okay, and some of these thoughts and voices we're hearing are ones that need to go away, or at least need to be questioned, because they're creating the chaos. And it's like, once the noise is gone in the distortion, what people told me that I needed to be, or what I told myself back in 1982 of how I was and what was right for me and how I identify, and now no one can change that because that's who I am and that's how it must go. All of that stuff, it's what's creating this tower. It's what's creating the suffering. Okay, so once there's suffering here, then we could keep going to different new situations, creating more suffering because we haven't fixed the root. This is all fixing the root means peeling back that veil, seeing the main distortion, and then we can move forward. And moving forward is clear with our heart. The heart knows of giving and receiving. That's all the heart knows. The heart does not take and keep. If it's taking and keeping, that's out of fear. Fear-based love, transactional love. Okay, that means I have the trauma that's on the front wheel driving, making decisions. Okay, the shadow, the devil, the pain body, whatever you want to call it, that's what's driving. The subconscious is driving. It's fearful. Okay, so you're being reborn here, and I feel like you have something great to bring to this world. So I don't know, you want to birth something into this world. I feel you do, and you might have well-meaning intentions. But once you remove the veil, you will see clearly what your purpose is, and it will shift as you drop these distortions, because you might think we want to do this or we want to do that, and it comes from a great place, but it might come from egoic desire for outcome or control or pride or success in a way that's going to be tied to my ego. And God's work is never tied to ego. Now, does this mean success never comes to those of us who are spiritually successful? No. This just means the great truth only comes from clear consciousness, not from distortion, not from hierophants. All right, so this is your message, pile number 1. Oh, what a message. So over here, I didn't really actually tie it all in, but I mean, this star is tying back to this whole thing. You have a vision and a mission and a purpose here. Okay, and all of this stuff that I explained is the healing. Okay, and happening, obviously destined like this. You were destined to experience whatever you experience. You're on a healing path. Okay, and there is something that you're going to strive for. I do feel like you guys can be aligned with stardom or something huge. Okay, and I do feel like it is aligning yourself in the future with this thing, but we can't get to this thing until we let go of this 5 swords, them versus me energy, even if you think you had a good intention, because the 5 sword is separation. Them, me. I give, and they're not taking, or they're not giving back. That's a 5 swords. I keep doing all the work here. I'm overworking. That's a 5 swords. Okay? So either which way, the 5 swords is saying, when you create separation between you and other, you're not in line with God's truth, because God's truth, there's only one. Okay, we are all one, but we must connect to that unity. We must connect to that one state of consciousness. And the only way to do that is to let go of all the false beliefs. All right, I hope that made sense. And now I'm done. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, beautiful pile number 2. I'm so blessed to be here. You guys pick moment to moment. And I love this card. Now, I don't know if we're already getting guidance or if this has been your energy or is getting more of your energy, but it's beautiful energy because it is being in the present moment. So I don't know if it's telling you to be more or, well, we could always be putting our consciousness to the present moment, but let's take a look. I have oracle cards here and I will shuffle these. Okay, there's only a few, but you guys can skip ahead if you're wanting to go straight away to your channeled message. We have 42 in a routine. So we're asking Spirit for a clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Spirit, pile number 2, can we get some guidance right here, right now, what they need to hear at this time regarding their journey and guidance for pile number 2. Their right here, right now message for clarity, guidance, and their journey, what they're needing to hear. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing a reading. I have a number 10. I am feeling one more of these. All right, so I'll just put those right there. Let me do the tarot as well. So far we got routine, number 42 or the number 6. Interesting that came with moments to moment. Okay, so let's pull some tarot. For pile 2, Spirit, what are they needing to know? What is the guidance, advice, confirmation? What is it that they're needing to know about their current energy state? Guidance, information, clarification, validation, insights for pile number 2. Thank you so much, Spirit, for this message. All right, these 3 I do feel are together, and I feel there's one more. Okay, so let's take a look. we have dwelling in truth. I stand in the light of truth. Beautiful. And we have Chiron, heal, 28, or the number 10, which we got number 10 right here. So you got 2 10s so far. Okay, but Chiron with heal. Chiron is the wounded healer. So once you heal, okay, I say you, but what this means is once the healing happens, it's one who can then heal others through the same process that one went through to heal. Okay, so it goes beyond just healing. It's the ability to heal others. Okay, so very strong energy. So 10, House of the Ambitious. Interesting. So the 10th house is all about career, long-term goals, structure, status. It's about reputation. It's about public image, masculinity, fathers, experts, and it is of fame. Okay, and then we have a trine with harmony. All right. And then we have following your bliss. So interesting, what's standing out is this comfort zone and this routine. Okay, and then we do have a lover's energy here with the number 6. Okay, and so we do have some Gemini, and we do have some Capricorn energy coming through. Okay, follow your bliss. My soul sings with joy. So the white unicorns could definitely symbolize fantasy, but the white could be some form of purity, some form of truth, okay, or some form of liberation here. Dwelling in truth. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So lots of pentacle here. And he's also wearing white, which is standing out to me. Okay, and the pink could be talking about self-love here. And the white is the authentic self. And we have the King of Wands. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, 2 kings so far. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, and then these 3. We have the 6 of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands in reverse. And we have the King of Swords in reverse. 3 kings so far. Okay, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then we have the Hermit in reverse. Virgo energy. And so the only king that we are missing here is the King of Cups, which means I don't see any cups here either. So is emotion sort of being withheld or removed? Let's see what's at the bottom here. We have the High Priestess. Okay, Pisces, a first water sign, and then the Knight of Cups in reverse, which is what I was sensing. Some sort of emotional withholding or something like this. Okay, let me channel this. Hopefully this becomes clear as I peel it all back, because so far I'm like, and, okay, and like if we just needed one card to be this, like be in the present moment and then see what happens, okay? But let me start channeling so that we understand. Now, again, this could be a person, place, thing you're dealing with, could be your energy, multiple aspects of self, okay? Don't peg it to any one thing in particular. I don't know if you're in routine or if you're wanting to establish some form of routine. Like it feels like there is definitely something that feels like it's in the comfort zone of routine, okay? And of course, being human, we want routine. We want that to be the form of structure and stability that we need, okay? Because then the ego feels a sense of a lack of control. And so it's the ego's job to keep us safe. So the more we know, perceived knowing, the more safe we feel. Although it is an illusion to know, because there is no way ever to predict what's coming in the future, ever, no matter what. Okay? And also, the past is not happening right now. The past has happened at some point in time, but it no longer exists. It's gone. Gone forever. It's not existing now. The only tie that keeps us to the past is our memory of it, some feeling we still have tied to a memory of something in the past. Okay, so we keep something alive of the past. We don't have to. It's our choice. So moment to moment means being in a conscious present moment. That's the only thing that exists. That's the only thing that's true. That's the only thing that's real. There is no future, because when we think of a future, it is always some unicorn. It is always some fantasy. It is always in some distant thing that we never reach. So the future is always unattainable. The only thing that we could be conscious of is right here, right now, in the present moment. Okay, and so I feel like there's healing that is being done within this group for sure. Okay, and this healing is all about seeing clearly. Because the more we let the past and how we might tie to the past or stories of the past or the experience of the past dictate how we are in this present moment, it will always impact whatever unfolds in the present moment, but it will be the perceived future. So I'm not trying to give you word salad. I hope you follow. Obviously, if in this present moment I start like slapping everyone, tomorrow, most likely all those people will be mad at me. Okay, although the future doesn't exist, meaning what? Meaning when I'm in that future, it's going to be that present moment. When those people are mad at me, it's the present moment. So you're always in the present moment. You're never in the future. You're always in the present moment, and you're never in the past. And so when the past experience, the past is really held in regard. Okay, like you're really sort of believing in whatever experience you had in the past. You're now diverting from a great truth. And you're letting it dictate how you are in this present moment. You could be either completely missing the present moment, not engaged in the present moment with pure consciousness, which means you're not in truth. You're just in fantasy. You're either drifting off in your mind. Okay, you could be there physically, but you could be not engaged. And we could be in a habit of this. And we could be doing this to keep ourselves safe. It's like, I want to create structure and routine or safety or something like this, or I'm healing this about me, but I'm really still attached to past story, okay, our comfort zone. So our comfort zone is to detach from truth. Okay, And I feel like, because I don't know necessarily here, let's keep channeling, but I feel like here we're talking about something we can't see or understand. Okay, and the only thing we can be engaged with, like I say, is present moment. And so I think you want to know something. I think you really want to know, and you really want to know, and it's like Spirit is saying, like, there is no more that you can do, more that you can heal, more that you could be, more that you could prevent. And there goes my email. That's going to make you know more, other than just sitting in the present moment, because there's nothing greater than the truth right here, right now. And so this is the thing, it's like our mind does tricks on us. It's like we're always seeking. We could be seeking in the tarot land, like, I'll finally hear what it is that I want to hear. It's like, are you sure? Because we don't even know what we're seeking. It's like, once I hear that thing, whatever it is, that magical thing, then I'll have closure. Then I'll see clearly. Then I'll know. Then will be the time. Then it's like, no, we're forever not in the present moment. Seeking, trying to avoid whatever we're having to do in this present moment. Okay, and this is how the ego detaches us from reality, because there's a lot of pain. Because when we're completely quiet and in the present moment, what surfaces? Only the truth. And the truth could be very painful, because the truth might come through the shadow, as in, oh, I am talking to myself negatively, or I have a lot of judgments about myself or this person, or I'm letting the past dictate all of these thoughts in my mind that are trying to steer me off. Like, look at this thought that I was believing. So when we're in the present moment, everything becomes visible. everything becomes visible because it is standing in the highest truth, but we cannot see it for the clouds. If we are still being pulled into like seeking, detaching, and having memories of the past and anticipation of what's to come and trying to figure out how to be or what to do. Okay, so this is all about when we're in the present moment, completely connected to truth. We might not like what comes up. This is how we heal. The more we sit with the discomfort, the embarrassment, whatever judgments we have, we know it's not real because judgment's not in truth. Those are all projections. And so as long as we observe, here's that judgment again, here's that voice again, here's that negative thought speak again, here's that uncomfortable feeling again of being inadequate or of being too much or whatever it is. Okay, so when the mind starts to drift, we could either feed that thought and say, yeah, I'm inadequate because this and then that and then that, and then we've cascaded into a whole other dimension of unicorns. No, right here in the present moment, in front of your computer or your phone or your feet on the ground or you're on your bed or you're in the chair or you're on the floor. So you look around and you say, okay, there's the toilet, there's that door, there's my phone, there's my hand, there's my shoes, there's my coat. So now we're aware of our present moment. There's only safety in the present moment. Everything else that's uncomfortable, that is coming from the pain body. It's coming up to be healed. And we don't like sitting with that discomfort. So the brain defaults to the past and it defaults to the future. Because anything but this present moment, anything but the truth, because we know our soul resonates with the truth. The heart always knows when it hears truth, even if it sounds like something contradictory. It vibrates at the level of the truth. This is why when someone says something that's aligned with spiritual great truth, it's like, wow, that really resonates for me. Even if I never heard it, it vibrates in my soul. There sounds like a resonance here. That's actually true. Okay, and so when we hear this truth, it's going to vibrate in our whole being. And then we're going to see an illusion that we've been carrying. I've been carrying this thought. I've been carrying this voice. I've been carrying this belief that I had to prove myself or that I had to win over love or that I had to be validated or appreciated or that I had to do this or that to be harmonious in order to keep peace, in order to keep structure, in order to keep routine. Maybe I was stuck in my comfort zone. And the comfort zone was not in the present moment. Okay, because the comfort zone was created based on what? On whatever was making me not have to feel uncomfortable feelings. Okay, and this doesn't mean that the present moment is always filled with uncomfortable feelings. Sometimes things arise that are shocking, accidents, people getting hurt in front of us. Those could be things that happen in the present moment for sure. Okay, but when we haven't healed the deep-rooted trauma in the present moment, these things will surface and they will be seen. We'll see through them. And when we heal these things or see through them, okay, we just got to see them. We don't heal them. There's nothing we can do. We're not God. But seeing them, acknowledging them, sitting with them. Okay, this means I see you. I see you thought. You might be untrue. I see you judgment. You might be untrue. I see this thing that I generally do to distract or this pain that comes up through me. So we cry it out. We scream it out. We do whatever we need to do, but we don't turn away from it by distracting or doing something else, because the body's going to want to do that. Go on my phone. I'm going to want to go eat a bag of chips. I'm going to want to go on Netflix. I'm going to want to do anything but look at the pain and the truth. And so you could say you're a truth seeker or that, oh no, I live for the truth. I am always in line with the truth. Are we? Because if we were, there would be nothing to fear because we would know that this truth, no matter how painful, it's going to line us to our power. It's going to line us to God. And trust me, this truth, when we first see it, it comes with a lot of charge, a lot of pain. But that pain isn't real. It's just stored energy in our subconscious from past events, from projections, from anticipation, from hanging on to control, from egoic beliefs. It's stored in the housing of the body somewhere. This is the stuff that needs to go away so that we're free, so that we can be in the present moment, so that we can make harmony. Because now we're conscious to say, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? With no pressure. Conscious. But when we're not conscious, it's the pain that's driving. It can't follow a bliss. It's like, whoa, I'm going to fear if I screw up, or I'm going to judge myself and say that I'm not ready because I suck at doing this, or I'm not a good communicator, or I'm inexperienced, or I have this other judgment of this person, and so I won't engage or I won't do that. Those are all projections. How can we follow in Spirit's guidance, or even in what truly will make us happy? Spirit knows what will truly make you happy in line with truth. Spirit's not going to let you go in a complete different path unless you use your own distortions to go down that path. And the distortions are all the unhealed self. And we say, I'm choosing with my free will to go and not do this or not do that, full of judgments, full of pain. It's like, no, you're not choosing. Actually, your pain body's choosing. Your subconscious is choosing. Those thoughts in your mind are choosing. The comfort zone is choosing because it's still tied to some story. We have to undo the identification with whatever that thought is so that we can follow bliss. So what Spirit's guaranteeing is harmony and bliss can only come when you're conscious, your pure self is in line with truth, not confusion, not past stories, not identified with that, not hanging on to control because I need routine, because that's egoic. Spirit says structure will come, flow will come, truth will come, because what Spirit is saying is, let's say you align yourself because you need the structure and the routine. Your ego thinks that that means control and that equates to good. However, Spirit all of a sudden can have a tornado through your house, a bus through your house. You can all of a sudden lose your arm, lose your hand, lose your finger. All of these things can happen. So there is no routine. There is no safety. There is no structure. Okay, our mind likes to think, well, yeah, I'm creating this. No, you're not. You're not. Okay? And so again, not sitting on your couch eating bonbons saying, well, it's all screw it. Just let it fall to pieces then. No, it's like, do what you can do. Okay, do what you can do, but just know, is this coming from pain body? And I'm thinking it's me, but it's really the subconscious making decisions. And so it keeps burning and turning disappointing situations, because once we're unconscious, as in the unconscious choosings, we keep staying in this unconscious loop, making decisions, trying to play it safe. That didn't work. I was trying to keep routine. I was trying to make harmony. Like, no, there's no doing. There's no making. There's just breaking the unconscious loop and saying, I'm acting out of fear, or I'm acting out of control. I'm acting out of ego. I'm acting out of shadow, because I've never let those shadows come out. So I don't know which is shadow and subconscious. I think I know, but I don't know, because I didn't do the deep healing that needed to happen. Meaning, again, you're not healing anything. You're just seeing it and you're expelling it through meditation, observation, sitting with the discomfort, sitting with that distraction. Like the distraction, meaning my mind wants to distract. It wants to distract, and no, stay with it. Stay with it. Bring it back. Present moment. Bring it back. Present moment. Okay, so we got to train the brain. Present moment, until that distraction falls away, until we see through the clouds. Then we see the truth, and then we're actually choosing consciously. Okay, so I think you think you're choosing consciously, but you're not. And so therefore, it's not in line with your authenticity. It's going to keep repeating small wins, big disappointments, staying in your comfort zone, thinking you know a truth. Okay, and so I feel like there's something to give to. There's something to give to, and there's something to give to you. Because when you are consciously giving, okay, then you're making a choice in line with your bliss, and it will reward you in kind. Okay, but I feel like right now there's some sort of inner dialogue that is battling you, that is not in line with your truth. And I don't know what this sounds like, like I said, I'm too much, I'm not good enough, it's not going to happen for me. I don't know, or whatever, or it could be on the opposite side. It's still, if it's not in truth, it's still in the pain body. I'm too good, I'm too proud, I'm too strong, I'm too good for this, no, those are judgments. No, neither of those are good. Okay, we don't want to be in either side. We want to be present moment is always neutral. What's happening right here, right now? It doesn't require any identity of the past or any projection into the future. So I cannot bring any of those identities here. If I bring those identities here, that means I'm now bringing in those untrue thoughts. That I am this and I am that and I need this and I have to have that and that's bad and that's the way I need it to go. No, because all of that's going to do is not allow you to be in the present moment for what it is. And Spirit's saying, I want you to see the present moment for what it is. This way, you're going to align with your great bliss. Otherwise, you're going to stay in your unconscious sleep, going round and round and round and round and round and round. Okay, and so this card about fame. Okay, fame. I think you want some sort of success. I think you want some sort of harmony. I think you want some sort of, like, I don't know, a voice, some form of way to be, way to look. Okay, I don't know which it is, but Spirit is saying this is not nothing that could be manufactured. It has to be something that comes through organically and authentically. And so if you think you need to chase it, if you think you need to attain it, if you think you need to work harder to become it, or to figure it out, or to sit there till it comes to you and think about it or read more, that's not ever going to come to you. The fame in which it's supposed to. Now, you might have a short-lived moment in fame, maybe a season in fame, but it is nothing except for an unconscious experience. If you're wanting to have your truest, highest calling that is aligned with your great bliss, aligned with the biggest fame that you could possibly have in this lifetime, that is harmonious for you and well-balanced and centered in truth, you must do the healing thing. Okay, and like I said, the Chiron's the wounded healer, because once we do this, we're able to guide others because we've gone through this experience. And so once you go through the experience, you're able to be of more value. When you're more value, okay, then that means you're able to be seen in your truest light here because you're more value rather than living in distraction. Okay, so I feel like there's a need to know thyself, a need to sit with thyself, a need to do shadow work, a need to allow oneself to truly sit with whatever comes through without resistance, without fighting it, without thinking that we know, without making any judgments. And this is even the more base identities, okay, or the more severe that are creating the biggest challenge. Okay, so not the little things like, do I want to quit drinking coffee? Do I want to, I don't know, these little things. Okay, you could definitely think of that, but these are big, big, big identities. Like, am I even like a corporate person? Do I even belong in a marriage? Do I even want to live in this country? Am I even somebody who, I don't know, like what excites me? But at the point of allowing Spirit to show you what this is, the only thing we're doing is questioning what we're doing now and saying, is this in my highest truth? And when we're identified with it, we'll say, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But we don't know because we haven't let the pain come through. Because when the pain comes through or the subconscious comes through and we observe it and we untangle from that, we have a whole different idea of what we identify with. We have a whole other idea of what makes us happy. We have a whole other idea of what actually makes us happy. And our whole life gets changed upside down. And I guarantee you, for this person, whatever I'm reading, that once they let the pain come through, once they see their great truth, I don't think this person at all is going to be happy in this routine. Because what they're going to see is, whoa, I was either playing small, it was exhausting, I was trying to keep it safe, I was coming from it from a different angle, I was trying to be seen or prove myself or try to do or be. And it's like, you don't need to try to do or be. Just let it flow, man. Just let it flow. Okay, so I don't know if they're wanting success in a financial gain or wants to be building something here. And there's nothing wrong with wanting success or wanting the confidence to accomplish a something. But this doesn't come from a chasing and a seeking and a doing over time. Spirit is saying this is going to come and it's going to shine right through once the false falls away, once the false identities and the judgments and the understandings fall away. Then we can contribute to this thing. Only then. Until then, we're just contributing to the unconscious self that's like throwing away energy. There's an energy leak towards the unconscious actions. And then we think we're keeping structure or safe or something. Meanwhile, it's just an illusion. It's just a unicorn. Okay, it's like there is no safety. There isn't. There's just the mind thinking it's safe and structured and pretending. Okay, and so the intuition has to be clear in order for us to see truth. The minutes there's fear, ego, distortion, and subconscious wounding that's still unresolved because we're still distracting, not meditating. Now, we don't have to meditate, but that's a form of sitting in silence and in present moment. Okay, we got to be in the present moment so those things could come up. If we're distracting on our phone, now I'm reading a book, now I'm writing an email, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that, I'm constantly busy. You're never going to see the pain body, ever. And so the intuition will never be clear. You're never going to see the truth. Your truth, not my truth. Okay, but your truth is going to definitely be aligned with the Spirit's truth the more you peel back this curtain. Okay, and so I feel like there's a suppression here of what truly calls to your soul. Okay, and I feel like there's a lack of cups. And so I feel like there's either a suppression of emotions or an inability to follow one's dream, how to act upon one's dream, how to invest emotionally in one's dream, how to even know what one's dream might even be, because one needs to clear up their intuition here. Okay, and it could very well be that we're hiding the fact that maybe we feel blocked here, or hiding the truth that really speaks to us. And so that sounds foolish, Linda. Why would I ever hide? Why would I ever hide what I'm feeling here? And it's like, why? Because we're still stuffing down the truth, because we're still not sitting with it. And so when we sit with ourselves, whatever comes through has to be seen through, regardless of how heavy it is. Okay? No numbing agents, no distractions. And at first it's very difficult, because I feel like only someone who doesn't want to see this thing is sabotaging, because there's too much pain sitting over here. And so they never get clear. Okay, and so someone who sabotages can say, if I know that I do this, and then it will really be on me to, the pressure would be on me to follow this dream or to make it happen. So I will unconsciously sabotage by like burning and turning, doing things here that makes it look like I'm doing something. And then my ego thinks that I'm doing something that I'm convinced, but it's not in line with truth. The only truth is one truth, and that's God's truth. And God's truth is not clouded with sabotage and illusions. And God's truth is aligned with once the distortions fall and once the pain is seen through, what's left standing. That's going to guide you towards whatever this is. So we have to do the hermit's journey, okay, in order to get our authentic truth, and in order to take action, and in order to speak what we truly feel. I feel there's a need to speak what we feel and move towards what we feel with our heart. But we can't move with our heart. We can't be authentic with our heart. We can't communicate our heart if we're not in authenticity, if we're not in line with the truth, if we can't even see it. We're too busy playing routine and safety. Okay, and so this is a big one about the devil and love, because which are we choosing here with the lovers, with the 6? The devil or the lover's path? The devil is, like I said, distortion, ego, the subconscious, the wounding, the fears are driving. Even if we say, I'm not fearful, I'm not scared to move forward, I'm choosing. No, there's fear when we need to control how it goes. When we're thinking we have control, that's based out of fear. That's based out of not allowing things to flow, being in the present moment. How will it go? Fear of, what if I lose control? What if I fail? What if I drop to my knees? What if I, trip and fall? And it's like, then we're too scared. We're too scared to see what happens in the present moment. That's only fear talking. Okay, and so Spirit is saying, your guidance here, very simple. Present moment, see what comes up, deal with it like a big boy or a big girl. Okay, and if we can't, that's fine. And we're wounded, we have things that have traumatized us, we can do it again tomorrow. Okay, but the more we turn to the present moment, we're choosing love. Why is that love? Because love and truth and God are all synonymous. So when I choose love, that means I'm no longer choosing fear. That means I am ready for the truth. I am ready to face whatever's in front of me. I'm not trying to force it. I'm not trying to distort it. I'm not trying to distract from it. I am ready to see this. And once I see it, I'm going to process it, however long it takes. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to judge it. Because if I do all that, it's going to make me feel like shit. It's going to make me feel even more uncomfortable. And then what I resist persists, and I don't learn anything. So all I'm doing is observing everything that comes through. Shame, fear, guilt, ego, identification. It doesn't matter what comes through. And the longer we haven't done this, the bigger that soup is going to burst open. Okay, and so all of this to say, there's a purpose here for you. I think you're going to make something big time. There is something that makes you absolutely happy here. It's totally in line with your truth and your heart. Okay? It's complete your authenticity. And I feel like it feels very much like fantasy. Okay? Something very much like fantasy. But again, like when we're really in line with spirit, there is no fantasy, because there is no cap to what we can create. Only that in which we think we're limited. And so I think you're an unlimited being. We all are, by the way, but for whoever's tapped into this reading, Spirit is saying, hey, you're an unlimited being. You're being led to some fantastical type lifestyle here that's really going to open up for you, completely aligned. That's absolutely beautiful. Okay, once you're in self-love and authentic self, and it's going to make you completely happy, it's going to recognize you, and you're going to be in complete harmony here. Okay, but we got to get rid of all the noise and the distortion. Otherwise, we're just an unconscious loop here forevermore, thinking that we're in some sort of routine and then patting ourselves on the back. And then all of a sudden, spirit goes and pulls the rug and our whole world's in shambles. Okay, so before the world or the universe makes shambles for you, allow yourself to see through this thing, because that's the only way to gain a form of confidence. That's the only way to gain success. Okay, yes, there are superficial ways to do it, but those are fleeting, and we'll never be confident enough, and we'll never be aligned. There's too much distortion. And so the confidence and the fame and the material wealth and all of that, Spirit's saying, is only going to come when we're authentic and we're in line with the truth. I hope this made sense. I love you very much, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, gorgeous angels. You guys picked morality, pile number 3. So I did suggest pile 1 come over here before I even did this reading. So maybe you can go to pile 1, maybe if they're tied in some way, if you were called. It could be, okay? But your pile's the only pile that I was like, oh my goodness. So go get your tea, go get your water, and then sit for all my flailing hands and my soapbox preaching, which, by the way, I'm channeling the divine. This isn't Linda opinion, okay? This is totally channeled from energy and cards. If you don't align with it, then it's not your reading, not your message. I don't care. I'm channeling energy and cards. So we're going to take a look at what Spirit wants to give you in way of guidance and right here, right now message. Okay, so hopefully this is healing, regardless if it is challenging to hear. We want a healing message, and we want to know, Spirit, what's going to help pile number 3 to move forward or resolve a current situation, the energy going on around them at this time. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3 and their journey. Thank you so much, pile 3, for being here and allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here. You guys can definitely skip ahead. There's only a few oracle cards here that I am using for this reading. Okay, so it shouldn't take long. And we have these. Spirit, clear and concise message for pile 3. What is there right here, right now? Healing guided message they are needing to hear. No, I don't feel that's right. Let's do that again. And one of these before we get the tarot. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. I just heard chicken feet. I don't know what that meant, chicken feet. Okay, chicken feet. Let's see. Are we running away from something? I don't know. What's chicken feet mean? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Now, a lot of times we don't know when we're running away from something. Subconsciously, I do feel one more. I'm not saying that you are, though, but you could be. So what is this? 5, 6, 7, 8 of swords in reverse. Okay, well, that's breaking through limiting thoughts. So let's see what your guidance and advice is here and your current situation. So we have Vesta with Hearth 32 or the number 5. Just sort of home is where the heart is. And I'm getting 4 wands from this. Okay, so 4 wands is union. Okay, it's a coming together. It could be a masculine and a feminine coming together, but your own inner union for sure. Okay, structure, stability. It could be a rite of passage or milestone with the 4 wands here. Sometimes it does indicate twin flames. Okay, when I reading, I am seeing a flame here. Okay, so just take what resonates. This is Queen Swords type energy. But it's a lot more complicated than that, because this is like a black and white sort of thinking, or we're passing a lot of sort of judgments, rights and wrongs, okay, which gets in the way. of unfoldment here, because we have a set rule play. It's kind of like a stringent Hierophant type energy with a Queen of Swords type rigidity. Okay, trine sextile, symbiosis, 52, or the number 7. Okie dokie. And we have a waterproof with 53. Or number 8. So now we have 2 8s. 88, master number, a higher calling that is grounded in self-awareness and reverence for life. I think 88 came through strong in pile 1. I mean, you could definitely be dealing with someone in pile 1. Okay, or your situation, more insight. This could be a flip person or situation here. Could be. We'll see. Sharing of yourself. I am an incredibly generous being. All right, I'm getting very psychic from this zebra as well. Like very unique, very psychic, which is weird because I don't generally read zebra as psychic, but that's what came through. Uranus, I change. Wow, so Uranus is the planet of the Great Awakener. Okay, this is Aquarius energy. And it is also Tower energy, which I don't want to ruin pile 1, but that was prominent there too. So I'm getting a lot of pile 1 vibes. Opposition with duality. That I was getting from masculine, feminine. Okay. Duality, 2 sides, black, white from this. Masculine, feminine. Okay, that's the polarity. Opposition. Okie dokie. Smoky artichoke. Let's take a look at your tarot. So 8 swords in reverse. And then we have the Empress in reverse. Taurus. Libra. And a 5 of cups in reverse. The 5 of swords in reverse. Yikes. And the 7 of wands in reverse. Oh my goodness. And then we have the 6 of pentacles clarified by the magician in reverse. Virgo, Gemini. And we have the sun, Leo. This came out in pile 1, by the way. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles with the beautiful magnifying glass, which is giving me the sun energy with the clarity. Okay, but I'm also getting highly intuitive with the zebra in this eye. So I'm getting Pisces energy. Also getting Scorpio energy coming through. Okay. Plus Cancer. All right. And then we have the star, Aquarius energy. And under the star, we have the 2 of wands in reverse. Under that, we have the devil. Yes, looking for that. It's like, what? This can't be all of the reading. Knew there was something under this whole thing. Okay. Okie dokie, Aquarius and Capricorn. Let me get into your reading. Give me a minute. I'm being called to read from the Symbiosis book, or Symbiosis from this Oracle book. Okay, trine sextile. I won't read the whole thing, but I want to see what Spirit is. Sorry, 52 is be over here. It says, challenge. The path of least resistance can be both delightful and limiting. Don't get stuck in comfortable rut. Gift. Lift one another up and grow. The comfort of compatible aspects can help us build up the resources needed to do the hard work and face the tough stuff. Well, yes, that would be trine sextile, but it says when life is hard, a dinner with friends where you can laugh, relax, and let down your guard can be great medicine. What a balm to talk over problems with someone who understands your worldview and to whom you don't need to explain yourself. Moments of ease can prepare us for the bigger challenges ahead. Okay, give me a minute to sit with this energy. Okay, beautiful angel, your reading here, I honestly thought this was going to be like, just like more of the intense sort of pile. I think you're the latest pile here, but I feel like crying for you because I feel your beauty. Okay, I really feel your beauty. What a challenging energy that is, situation, circumstance that you're in here. Okay, so where do I begin? I feel like a lot of you guys might tie with pile 1 being some reference to your situation, circumstance, could be someone that you're dealing with, okay? I feel like for this group, this does seem to be a conflict with other, okay, like relationship. This is what it seems like. Now we're in relationship with everything and everyone. So when I say relationship, doesn't mean it's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, lover. It doesn't have to be, but it does come through as a relationship because I do feel like there's conflict, okay? And I am feeling this is very profound here. I'm getting a lot of the black and white with the zebra. This card definitely talks about black and white seeing. Okay, there seems to have been either a tower moment or some shift or change or sudden realization here. There seemed to be either a difficulty finding a middle ground or no wiggle room. We were stuck in some sort of duality, you know? And this is like, how do we find the common ground? How do we come to some sort of understanding? And I think what you're learning here is you can only come to a balanced understanding within yourself. There is nothing you can do about anybody else. Okay, and so it's up to you whether you want to give of yourself in efforts and energy and what that looks like. Okay, but there is also understanding that you can give of love without investing energy and effort. And so learning how to involve yourself and share of yourself and your energy is something that I think you're learning in this process. And I think like you might have been overly invested, overly giving, overly kind. And I don't feel as though it is from a malicious place of trying to manipulate or coerce or even attain anything transactional here, so much as it is you are giving from a very beautiful place. Okay, but it doesn't matter if we're giving from a very beautiful place if it is not being received or landed on the other side. Okay, and so if the other side doesn't receive, then that in which we're giving is just like a flowing leak of energy, and it's a drain. Okay, it's a drain here, because the only way for us to stop the drain is to have the love loop or the investment go full circle. When I give, it comes back to me, I receive, closed loop. Okay, we're not giving to receive, but we're closing a loop. And so we have to know, is this situation, not is it worthy of my love? Because of course, every situation is worthy of compassion and love, but how much effort and energy and sharing of myself and investment am I required to do here or investing in this situation? Okay, and the only way we can really come up with this, the right answer here, okay, is to understand ourselves and go through an experience here. There is no black and white here. And also, the more judgments we house and the more it has to be this way and it must be that way, this is where we start to suffer. Okay, so if there is any sort of dualistic polarity going on, this is right, this is wrong. This is my way, this is their way. Like none of this will allow there to be a happy union. Okay, because again, like I said, when I laid these cards out, home is where the heart is. Okay, so I feel like there's a good intention of a coming together, okay, and working together through something. But there's also a true reality in not everything is harmonious and not everything we're capable of doing ourselves. And so once we know what we're capable of doing without overly extending ourselves, okay, only through balance, only through working through the judgments or black and white thinking or the understandings we might have, because we might carry strong understandings of what looks right and what looks wrong. Okay, and we need to be clear whether this is the heart talking or the hierophants talking, or the pain talking, or the judgments talking, or the reflex mechanism talking, because we don't want to get hurt. And so when we don't want to get hurt, okay, we start to say this is right and this is wrong. This is good and this is bad. And we might start to select this is when I can give and this is when I can't. So now we're in transactional giving. And when we're in transactional giving, it's never from a place of love. It's always from a place of fear. Okay, and so this is a big lesson, because I think this lesson is one, is my heart open? Yes or no? It's kind of, I'm seeing that flow chart. Okay, if no, why not? Well, I don't want to get hurt. Okay, well, we could still have an open heart and we could still give love, but how we give love, the manner in which we give love, to the extent in the practical action of giving love, what does that look like? Okay, now if I am giving love in a certain way, am I closing this loop? Is it coming back so I could receive it? No. Okay. So we could say, well, other is not giving it back to me. Okay. Or we could say, it's not rewarding. You could apply this even to a job. Okay. It's like, I'm showing up every day here, clicking on my keyboard. My work's not giving me a raise. My work's not giving me a promotion. It's not a closed loop. I don't care if this is a relationship, a twin flame, a floundering flame. Don't care. All I'm saying is that closed loop where I invest, is it paying it back? Okay, in a way here that allows it to be balanced and flowed. Okay, but the minute judgments come in here, expectations and understandings, then we're distorted, and then we can't make these clear decisions. It's the fear talking. It's the mind that says, I've already overgiven, or I'm already doing this, or this is how it is, or this is no, none of that. Because all of that is the distortion that doesn't allow there to be the balance, that doesn't allow there to be the giving and the receiving. Now, we just have to tweak the giving and receiving to fit this situation. Okay, and so I feel like for you guys, now I'm going to get more into the situation, because that was more like, I guess, spiritual level. I feel like there is a situation here with this devil, okay, and this towery energy I was feeling, or this sudden realization of something, where you might have felt cock-blocked, or like it's no longer, I can't go down this path, or my future is at risk, or in the hands of this thing, and like helpless, or there's nothing I can do in some sort of way here. Okay, and so Spirit is saying, you're going to be shown something. You're already probably seeing something. And the more you unfold here, the more you will see. Okay, this is slow and steady, but you will see. And where is it going to guide you? It's going to guide you to truth. It's going to guide you to healing. It's going to guide you to something, okay? And it's going to free you from any of these devilly chains. Now, you could be dealing with a devilly type situation, okay, where it's toxic or just unhealthy, or it's creating all sorts of stress, or it's not closing the loop, okay, where you feel like you're not landing on the other side, whatever that means. You're investing, throwing, I don't know, pearl to swines, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but the devil could be a habit or a pattern or a way that you share yourself, that you're learning and finally realizing or seeing in regards to relationship. So this could be healing like a long-held belief I had that was limiting me. It was what was keeping me stuck, not the situation, not this person. It was this belief that I had to invest more, or give more, or show up more, or be the overextender or overgiver, something like this. Okay, or feeling like the situation or the circumstance was limiting or was blocking some sort of future desire. Okay, but a situation or a person or a circumstance cannot block what's meant for you. The only thing that can block what's meant for you is your own limiting beliefs. And so once you see through this, which I think you are, and you will if you haven't already, and this is your message, you're going to see that the only thing you need to know, the only thing that you need to undo and detach from, is an internal state of belief that you are carrying about yourself, other situation, judgments, expectations, and anything else that's making you feel stuck, making you feel like you're damned if you do and you can't do anything about it. Okay, because I feel you feel undervalued, and I feel like you don't know your self-worth, or you haven't, and this has been the cause of it. It's like, as long as I stay however I am with this mind story or belief, overgiving, I will block my path at abundance. I will block my path to what is destined for me. This is what's being healed. Okay, this is a distortion. Okay, I use the word distortion. You could call it trauma. You could call it a wound. You could call it the way you were raised. You could call it the way I've always been. I'm just caring and loving. I don't care what you call it. Dress it up how you will. Okay, I'm telling you that when we're in any situation where we feel hostage, where there's limitation and it blocks abundance because of a belief that we carry, only we have the ability within our internal self to make change. No person, situation, or circumstance will reflect it back to you 100% of the time. The minute they show you something distorted, you're going to internalize it and see it however you see it. You're the only one that can see your internal world. So if you see yourself as needing to give more, or the overgiver or the overextender or whatever, or blocked, then that's the reality you're creating here. I feel like there's a situation, circumstance that feels like shit, okay? It's like a disappointment. It feels like shit. There's them versus me. It's all conflict here. And I don't feel, like I said, that you're in bad energy. But it becomes toxic, devilly energy when it's too directed in a way that's unhealthy. It doesn't mean give more. Now I always say that, okay, that in which you're not giving is the only thing that could be lacking. Yes, it's true. So if we want more love, we got to give more love for sure. But giving love doesn't mean towards an open flow where it doesn't close the loop. Okay, and so this doesn't mean I only give when it comes back to me in a way here that's transactional. No, that would be definitely transactional and based out of fear. And it's like, I'm going to give more so I could get more. No, this means when I see clearly that I can give love to all, but how I go about it, if it's landing, if it's being received, if it's being acknowledged, it will come and be mirrored back to me. Because for the soul, when you give love and someone receives it energetically, you feel it. It feels good. You love to give. Everyone loves to give. It's like, ooh, that made me feel good. But when you give to someone who's closed or can't receive, it's like, I don't know, water repellent here. It's like it's not sticking. And you should throw more at it and more at it, and you burn out. It's like you burn out. And so it's like, how much of yourself do you want to share? Okay, and so when I do say that in which you're not giving is the only thing that could ever be missing, it means you are the mini creator in God's universe. And so you're like a mini God. Okay, and so you get to be the magician. And so when I create and generate love from within me, there it is. It's here now. So it can't be missing. I am creating this love. I am generating love. Look at it. It's right here. Okay, now you're saying, well, I want the love, but what's coming through here is take this love and give it to that in which can absorb it. Love the trees, love your plants, love your children, love your family, love your friends, love your job, love the thing that is actually absorbing it. And it will give back to you and you will fill your beautiful cup up. But when you start to give love, okay, in a way that is just like repellent here, or not in an open, it's in an open sort of state, you're going to burn out here. Okay, and so you can love all of God's children and all of everything, including this person, this relationship, or whatever, this job. Okay, but how do you share yourself? I think this is the realization. How much do you invest in the physical realm? Okay, because the last thing you want to be doing is creating duality. So this is why it's a fine line. And only when we've mastered that feminine and our masculine do we come to this truth and this realization. We're in a centered calm that says, I don't need to overextend. I don't need to overgive. I know when I need to lean on my masculine. I know when I need to lean on my feminine. I know when I need to be receiving, and I know when I need to be giving. Okay, but if we're giving from that place, which isn't from a place of transaction, that sort of giving requires a giving and a receiving. Always to close the loop. It's coming from a genuine giving, receiving, giving, receiving. But if I'm giving to a person, situation, or circumstance, to that in which is taking and keeping, it's now the negative polarity. So we have positive polarity, negative polarity. Okay, feminine, masculine, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so the negative polarity is feminine. Okay, and the masculine is positive. But in this state, when we're giving, the closed loop has to be receiving. Okay, and so if I'm giving and it's not coming back as receiving, are being received. Okay, I'm seeing one of those CB radios like, Roger, Roger, do you receive? If there's no one on the other end, hello, fly, you don't stay there in the war field saying, hello, answer me, and everyone's being bombed. Of course not. It's like, whoa, if they're not responding, either the radio's broke, they're already dead, or there's no communication on the other side. So it doesn't mean, well, screw you, I hope you died in that bombing. Okay, that's coming through very strong, maybe because of all this tower energy, but you would not stay on the radio. And you'd still wish them peace and hope that they fled, and maybe the radio fell and they're going to find peace, but you're going to maybe go and use the radio and try to channel someone else to help them, you know? And so this is what this message is. It's like, is somebody taking and keeping? Because if they're taking and keeping, their radio, their CB radio is off. Okay, so you don't need to keep sharing of yourself. And that would mean if you do this, it's not that person. They're a taker and a keeper. They're the ones who are the ones that are the issue. No, because now we're back in this morality thing, casting judgment, saying one is wrong, one is bad. No, those are two polarities. Polarity does not mean good and bad. It's negative and positive energy. Everything is energy and everything's balanced. Balanced. You can't have cold without the heat. You can't have light without the dark. Everything in this universe. And so when you are giving, it has to come back with receiving, because that's its polarity. Okay, and when we are taking and keeping, the taking and the keeping is two different polarities within itself. And so we have like two different languages here. One's giving, and then one's taking, and then one's keeping. And one is just sort of endlessly doing this until they learn their value, until they break through their limiting thoughts, until they see, I don't need to stay in toxic situations or situations in which I feel not seen or not appreciated or disappointed or rejected, or where I can't stand my ground, where I feel like I'm helpless, I can't fight, and I can't stand on my own. It's like the more I give, the more I'm experiencing the same thing, and I have no ability to move past this. It's like, no, you do, but we need to understand the root of what's creating this thing. And it's this black and white thinking, or this thing in which we're really driven from, okay, that goes even deeper. So not only do we need to take a look at why we're giving or loving or acting the way we are, but where is it rooted in? Okay, and then see it as maybe it's a possibility that I'm not allowing abundance in because I might have a wound. And this wound could definitely be not allowing me to receive. And so this is why I'm in situations where it's perpetually not being received. Of course, no one would choose this. Of course, everyone wants to be loved. Of course. You know what I'm saying? But if we subconsciously feel like we don't deserve it on some level. Okay, now this is, again, the deserving doesn't mean, oh, I'm worthless, I'm not deserving. This could be somebody who absolutely feels worthy and loves themselves. However, subconsciously, there might be something going on here. Okay, and it could even be we're just very loving and giving. And now we've encountered this sort of taking and keeping as a lesson here in this polarity, this duality. And so there's a need to change or shift or see things differently. It's like, I always saw things this way, or I always saw myself that way. Okay, because I feel like we might think there's only two ways to handle this. Either I give the way I'm truly open in my heart, which you are, by the way. Okay, or I withhold and I keep. And it's like, no, that's the duality, that's the polarity, and that's what keeps you in this inability to have any other middle ground. It's like, no, the middle ground here is to still give love. Isn't if the answer ever is to block your heart, no, then that's the wrong answer. Okay, love is truth. If it's coming from love, it's going to sound a lot like truth, even if it's painful. Okay, so the pain here could be I'm giving love, but it's not landing. It's not landing. Painful. Ouch. I wanted it to land, but maybe it wasn't landing for a very good reason. So that I could see, so that I could balance, so that I could pivot, so that I could have this realization, so I could see the greater truth. And what is this great truth? Healing. What is this great truth? It's now pointing me to my North Star. It's now aligning me with my destiny because I've learned whatever lesson I was needing to learn here. I can't move forward in whatever the situation is, okay? Because it kept me feeling very stuck. And like I said, maybe toxic people or people had a toxic way of engagement and love. Okay, now, if it's toxic, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's their way of being, or their shadow, or their pain body, or their whatever it is. It has absolutely nothing to do with you so much, and it has nothing to do with casting judgment, who's in the higher moral ground, who's better, who's worse. It just means I don't cast any judgment. All I can do is be in control of my own inner world. I could create and generate the love because I am the master magician, and what I don't generate is the only thing that could ever be missing. So if I'm missing love, I generate love. If I'm missing gratitude, I generate gratitude. If I'm missing appreciation, I generate appreciation. I go appreciating everyone and everything. I'm the magician. I was going to say masturbator. I don't know what's going on there, Spirit. And then I undo this belief. This belief is what's keeping me hostage. This belief, not this person, not the situation. Okay, yes, my habit of doing it, but the belief underneath the doing. It's not the fact that I overextend and overgive that's hurting me or burning me out. It's the belief I have and why I'm doing it that I held to be true, that I don't need to do because it's false. There is no lack and there is no limits and there is no belief as in when I give love and it's not received and it's bad. No, love could never be bad. Okay, and love could never be wasted. However, you could burn out. If you're pointing your nose in the direction which is not receptive, it's broken or I don't know what they are, but what Spirit is saying here is you don't need to know because something's shifting and you're seeing the great truth and you're in line with your star. That's all you need to know. My star, I see it. You're getting closer. Your intuition is guiding you. You're going to be totally in line with what's for you. Just move throughout this thing. You're beautiful, highly intuitive, spiritual, unique energy that's pulling through here. I could feel you. Okay. And so you don't need to convince anyone to love you or be abundant or close the loop or give them more or validate you or prove yourself or spend years, months, time over and over again trying to prove your self-worth. No. Okay. And so how do we do this? We can sit there, we can give love. But when we give love energetically, remember energy is real. We see the energy go and come back to us in a loop. We could create a wall behind that person or thing and see your energy go and come back to us. Okay. And so if we don't want to do that, we don't have to do that, but we can sit in our heart space and vibrate love to everything and everyone. If we don't want to direct it. Okay. But remember, if we're not giving love, we're never going to receive love. You're the generator of this thing. And right now you're not generating the thing in which you want. I think you want something. Okay. And I don't think it's transactional, but I think you want love or you want equal reciprocity or you want the thing. Okay. But the source in which you're thinking the thing is going to come is not going to come. And I think you're realizing this quickly. It's like, it's not coming from here. It's not coming from here, but it feels like I'm supposed to be doing something here. It's like, go back, undo this belief, give it from a different state, get yourself into balance and understand that overinvesting and overgiving is only going to lead to burnout here and it blocks your abundance. Abundance can only come when you start to generate that of gratitude, appreciation, and love. Then you will experience joy. Then you'll see the happiness in your world. I think you already know what's for you. I think you understand this on a destiny level. Like, I see that my happiness is out there. It's meant for me. I can feel it. I can intuit it. I want to see it. So what's happening, And I feel as though for a lot of you guys, you're either coming into or have already experienced this tower or this realization of exactly what I'm saying to you. So what's Spirit saying? Spirit is validating you, is confirming your love. There's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful. You're beautiful. You're learning how to point your nose in the right direction without being from someone who's taking and keeping. Okay, from a place of true, genuine love and wishing well on other and not staying in battlegrounds where you're being, beat up or something here. Okay, you're not someone's punching bag energetically and by them withholding or doing whatever they're doing. Beautiful angel, this is your reading. I love you very much. I hope this helped you and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.